At the time of recording this video, my age is 22 years and 3 months. I am at a phase in my life where kids, even teenagers, literal fucking teenagers, start calling me uncle. As much as it hurts my ego, it is about time I start accepting the fact that I'm getting older and make a fucking YouTube video for those 9 people who regularly watch my videos. And the biggest change I noticed when I started entering my early 20s is having this false sense of urgency. So pretty much all the people who are my age can be categorized into 2 groups. One who believe that 20s are the most important phase of your life. You should enjoy that. Drinking is fine, smoking is fine, go for clubbing, go to some trips, have some nice memories, have some nice experiences, and make sure you don't regret anything. Other people believe that your 20s are the most important phase of your life, so they are the foundation for your future. So work like a fucking dog, start a business, work all the time, make a lot of money, and by the time you're 25, if you're not some billionaire CEO who lives in Dubai, your life is wasted, go and fuck yourself. Either way, both of these people believe that your life ends at the age of 30. As much as I would love to say that that is not the case, even I believe that to a certain extent. Because when you're a teenager, and even for people in their early 20s, there is always something interesting happening in your life. If you are this teenager who goes to school, your hormones are completely messed up, you want to do some crazy things, have some crazy experiences, the people around you are doing some crazy things, and in school there is this cultural festival, sports festival, picnics, educational trips, you play a lot of sports and stuff, you don't care about money, about people's attention, stuff like that, and life is pretty good. Then comes your school's farewell, the first sad experience of your life. You say goodbye to most of your friends and move on to a different chapter, which is college. Then the same thing happens in college, you meet a lot of new people. Then there are some cultural festivals, sports festival, tech festival, you go to trips, stuff like that keeps happening, and you can basically never get bored. Then you start your first job, you start making some money, which is like a new experience, a very fun experience for most people, including me. Then by the time you're 30, you get married, which is also a new experience, a very wholesome experience for most people. But after that, after the age of 30, there is nothing interesting left in your life. Your hormones stabilize, you don't want to do something crazy. Your identity, your personality, your beliefs, they're also done developing, so there is no more character development in your life. And life becomes very predictable. At this point, it is like you're just trying to make some money, trying to survive for a few decades, and that's pretty much it. Nothing interesting left to look forward to. Now, this is just my speculation from a person who is in his early 20s. I can be completely wrong, I don't know. If there is someone who is watching this video who is much older than I am, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. That being said, the conclusion that I came to when it comes to working hard versus having fun is, I have no fucking clue. The best advice I can give you is work very hard on something you love working on. That way, you get benefits of both the sides. So there is this Japanese concept called as the ikigai, which I think you should know of. It is basically a task which you like doing, it makes you a lot of money, and it changes the world in a positive way. There is one more condition, which is you should be good at it, but I don't believe that, because I firmly believe that you can be good at anything if you invest a lot of time in it. Take my first YouTube video for example. That was awful, the way I was speaking, my body language, that was completely fucked up. But at this point, I can speak in a certain way which is not that terrible, I guess. Finding your ikigai is not very easy, by the way, because you're supposed to invest a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into doing something which you might not even do in like 5 years. You're supposed to try a lot of businesses, talk to a lot of people, have some uncomfortable conversations, and it is a painful process, but it is still very important because it gives you a thing called as leverage. For most normal people who have no idea what they're supposed to do, most of you are going to do some corporate job. And let me tell you right now, it is not a very pleasant experience for most of the people. The managers will keep torturing you, you're supposed to meet some deadlines and stuff, and if you don't do that, you make less money compared to your friends, or in the worst case, get fired. When I was in college, I used to think that I can handle that pretty well. Money is not an issue for me, I can do the minimum amount of work and have a peaceful life. But now that I'm experiencing the corporate life, I realized that it is not so easy. Luckily, I am doing completely fine because I don't have that kind of pressure from corporate, but a lot of my friends, they do. I know some people who work from 9 AM in the morning to 12 AM at night, sometimes even after that, and they don't have a choice to say no. because if they lose this job, they don't have a choice. Finding a new job is not going to be very easy. At least in India, the market is completely fucked up. A lot of people are unemployed, and even if they do find some job, it might not pay that well. So money is going to be an issue. For me, luckily, I know that I'm going to be completely fine because I have the leverage of video editing. Even though my YouTube does not have that many subscribers, I'm not making any money from YouTube. My video editing skills alone are more than enough for me to quit my job. So just in case if I have a lot of pressure from corporate, I have the option to quit. Having all the experiences like clubbing or drinking or going to some trips, they are also very important, by the way, because I remember that when I was in school, I used to be very serious when it comes to studying. All my friends would be having fun, going to each other's houses for sleepovers or something. But for me, it was like, as soon as my school was done, I would come home. I do have some nice memories of school, but I wish that I would have spent more time having fun than studying. For all the people who go to school right now, I can guarantee you that your marks do not matter as much as you think. 3 months after the results, no one is going to ask you your marks. Even you are going to forget that. Your college is going to start and you basically move on with your life, regardless of how bad your marks were. I know a lot of people who were with me in my school who got more marks than me but make less money than I do. I also know a lot of people who got less marks than I did but also make more money than I do. Now in future, sure, there can be some entrance exams that can change your life, but right now in your school, your marks do not matter as much as you think. So when you are young, focus on experiences. As you get older, focus on hard work. This also does not mean that you should work so hard that you ignore everything. Nothing else matters. Even up until recently, my friends would invite me to a lot of things and 99% of times I would say no. That is something I do regret, and it is not just me. Even the older people who are facing death, one of the most common regrets they have is working too hard. Working so hard to the point where you don't have any memories, you don't spend time with your friends, your family, it is just working and more working. One more thing I'm noticing as I'm getting older is time is moving very fast. It has been 15 months since my college ended and I started my first job as a programmer, but for me it feels like barely a few months have gone by, and I have this feeling that years are going to go by just like this without me even realizing it. I have this very vague memory from when I was a kid. I must be around 10 years I think. It is a very bright evening. I am lying somewhere on the ground and I am just looking at the sky, at the clouds. That memory is so vague, but just remembering that, it feels so relaxing, so nice. And it is not just that. If you ask me the amount of memories I have from my childhood, I have a lot of them. Watching those cartoons on the TV, those Power Rangers, Doraemon, stuff like that. Then there is the peaceful classroom of my school. Teacher is teaching something. I am just sitting and paying attention or something. Then the friends I used to have. I used to play with them regularly. Sometimes I think what they are doing right now, because I'm not in contact with most of them. There are some people who I see regularly, but I don't talk to them because after a certain point, we went our own separate ways. Then there are some school picnics, then there are trips, then there are some quiz competitions, some exhibitions that I participated in. So many memories from my childhood. If you ask me what happened in the last year, I have no idea what happened. Nothing interesting happened. It was like I'm living the same day again and again. I met some new people, started my first job, which was kind of fun, sure. I wasn't depressed or anything, but I feel like time is moving so fucking fast. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.